come back on to do the seven deadly sins and go through these. What is the seven deadly sins? Just to brief people on what you want to speak about.
These are like agendas. Do you understand? These are things that you need to know in order to have like a beautiful mind. They'll make you better, sharper. Do you understand? If you
Yeah,
want to live around the world, there's certain things that you need to do. What happens is, I see a lot of kids in Dublin, and they don't know what they're doing. They're selling around, rocks here and there and bits of gate and that. And really, like, that's another world to the one we grew up in. Before you know it, these kids are destroyed going around the place. So, if you want to live in that underworld, you'd want to be really, really sharp. There's certain things that you need to go by. You need your mindset to be like your beautiful mind. You need to be better. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do this, I would imagine you're going to end up in prisons all your life or you're going to end up a drug addict. Do you understand? The 32 counties right now are that bad with drugs. I'd rather be dead than live the way they're living. Like there's over 140,000 heroin and crack cocaine addicts in the south of Ireland alone. Over. That's 140,000 plus. And most of these were kids that probably wanted to be gangsters, like, sell rocks before you know it. They're addicts themselves. Do you understand? As far as I'm concerned, that world is only for a certain breed of people. So I want to run by seven things here, which are seven different agendas. You need to keep these in your mind all the time. Yeah? If you do what I say, I guarantee you'll get through that underworld and be able to have a normal life with your wife, children, grandchildren, and please God, probably die of natural causes with your wife in your 90s. You know what I'm saying? Not a drug addict, because has a bad problem right now with hard drugs. The United Kingdom and America is like 10 times worse. I mean, I could tell you stories and you wouldn't believe them. Before I start, I just want to explain something to you. Recently, I spoke to 12 people, okay? And these were like really up the ladder in Ireland and United Kingdom in crime. And one of them was over in Holland. So I asked the 12 of them, I says, what do you think, look at the underworld? If you had some advice, I says that I'd like to do on a podcast, what would you say? Okay? So Joey Poyle, he was like the biggest gangster in United Kingdom history. Like Joey was like the main shot caller alongside Freddie Foreman and that, you know what I mean? But his son Mitchell, he's a gentleman and he's a lovely fella. I love Mitch, he's a lovely guy. I sent him a message and says, what would you say? He says, Scott, he said, I tell them to get a job, he said, to get an education and just live your life without having to go to prisons. He says, the way things were when we were kids, he says, they're not like that anymore. He said, as soon as someone gets in trouble these days, they try and rip you off or stick you in the neck instead of them, he says. He said, that's the way things are, he says. He said, it ain't the way it used to be. You're safer with an education or a trade. Now, that's Joey Poyle's son said that.
and is that with the seven deadly sins that you're going to speak about soon? Do you think though would they still sort of apply to today then? Because obviously you're going to be
Yeah,
talking about things, your experiences. So if somebody implemented this into their life, maybe they can't get out of that world. They're stuck in that world. They don't know what to do. Would that still apply? These seven deadly sins still apply to this modern day age?
yeah, the woods, yeah. What just like about like I want to talk about things like never give up your location, how to remain calm. I give you my opinion on the guard, how I will imagine like you should spend your life hiding from. Do you understand? Just seven things like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Some people might like them, some people wouldn't. But I do think if you want to live in that world, if you're from the south of Ireland, Northern Ireland, you should listen to what I say. Because I know there's an awful lot of things that I don't like. Do you understand? Now, the boys these days don't want to be big hash dealers or big ecstasy dealers. They're selling the rock, which is absolutely annihilating the place. Like, do you understand? I mean, that's not the world I lived in. But
Yeah, yeah. Well, definitely there is an element now to the North and the Republic where these you say the rock, and you've got heroin, and you've got there's other ones across the world like fentanyl. But just speaking in Ireland, I've noticed that there's a massive decline in the people, the way with the drug use, especially up here now. In Belfast, it's just rife now. It's ripping through the country, and once again, I have to say this: we're not glorifying that side of life. We're not glorifying the underbelly of society. If there's a chance that you can get out of things and make a better life for yourself, do it. But there's a lot of people, Scott, and we had these conversations, that can't get out of that world, and they're stuck in that world, and their communities are being ruined. So, do you want to start off with the first one?
Yeah, no problem. Um, as I was saying, is really, if you want to live in that world, yeah, the first thing you want to do. I have a quotation here that I told you before. It's called "the cutest hen lays out." Yeah, and really, what that means is a person that sits in the background. Okay, don't ever give anybody your location. Say, if you're living with your mother in Dunamid, yeah, and you're making money around Dublin, don't have anybody near your home. Don't have no one near your mother's gaff or anything like that. Don't have no one near your girlfriend's house. Only your own people. Do you understand? So if you want to go out the weekend, if you want to live in that world, I'm telling you, it's 100 times safer. Don't be having no one near your home. Never have the guards familiar with driving past your house and see a gang of yumpers in your garden. And don't have yourself or anybody can be knocking into your house, putting pressure on you, leeching off you, or trying to talk you into doing things you don't want to do. So the number one way of doing things, if you had an apartment somewhere and you were making a few quid in Ireland, say you had an apartment probably over in Tala, and you were walking with gangs on the north side, you're going to live a normal life. You're going to avoid yourself year in, year out. You're going to avoid problems every day. Do you understand? And by doing that, the cutest hen lays out means that you're hiding from it and you only make a move whenever you feel like it. Do you understand? So basically, what happens is if you're up in Tala and your walk is going on the north side of Dublin, you're never going to have anybody at your door leeching off you, mooching off you, near you listening to your conversations on the phone that could grass you up. You don't have anybody putting pressure on you. Everyday problems like getting arrested, nicked, getting your car stopped, searched, people watching what you're doing close to you, that could be grasses. They can't get near you. You understand? And you'll have yourself a normal life. In 10
Yeah.
years' time, 15 years' time, when you look back and you've seen other gangs falling apart all over Dublin, or people in and out of prisons, you're going to say to yourself, he was right with what he was saying. We used to hide from everybody. Paddy Mitchell had me very, very fine tuned. You understand? I know I had some problems here and there, but never had like many. Like I'm 49 in a few days' time, and I haven't got one enemy in Dublin alone. I'm not fighting anybody there. And I can tell you that place is hard. Do you know what I'm saying? We would say that's very good for the age I am, you know what I mean?